Charlie Kirk was so young. He was only 31, meaning if he lived another 31 years, he would have only been 62 years old. But what Charlie was able to do in just 31 years, words really can't describe. But according to the left, Charlie was no George Floyd. No, he wasn't. According to the left, George Floyd is the real hero of our time. According to the left, who feel about as relevant today as they did on Election Day 1984 after Ronald Reagan won 49 states. They say God works in mysterious ways. And as I watched Charlie's service yesterday, it became clear to me that what one man may have intended for evil, God intended for good. Think about how many secular people in this country and around the world, and how many members of the press corps, who definitely are not religious, I know these people, were exposed to more God yesterday than they have been probably in their entire life. Yesterday, the message of Jesus probably reached more people at the same time on the same day than at any single moment that I can remember. And Charlie did that, and that was by design. Even in death, he found a way to bring people together through Christ. More than 100 million Americans watched the Charlie Kirk memorial service yesterday, and something tells us that Charlie's killer was also watching yesterday. Of course, he was alone in a prison cell wearing a suicide vest, and something tells us that Jimmy Kimmel was watching this whole thing too, also alone on his couch, nowhere to go today, nowhere to be. Jimmy Kimmel, even if he does come back tomorrow, his impact doesn't matter. He feels so small right now. Tyler Robinson thought he was stopping a man, but instead he created a movement. The youth vote in this country belongs to conservatives now. Turning point complete. And Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, could one day herself be elected president. We're serious. She certainly has the support where it matters, and that support is no longer of this earth. And part of Charlie's legacy will be something that no one else has mentioned. You're hearing this now for the first time. But 9 months from today, 9 months from now, thousands of little boys will be born all across the country, and they will all share the same name, and that name will be Charlie. Today, the left in this country have fallen so far behind the right that in this moment, they also seem so small to us, all of them. Almost like they don't even matter, because they don't. We just found out that a little over a year ago, according to her book, Kamala Harris refused to pick Mayor Pete as her running mate because Mayor Pete is gay. And she didn't choose Josh Shapiro because Josh Shapiro is Jewish. While Democrats, as a party, are about as close as they've been to endorsing Palestine as we've ever seen. Think about that. And think about what it means for Kamala not to pick Mayor Pete because what he does in his private time in the bedroom. The party of gay rights not running with someone because of his sexual orientation. Instead, she picked a guy who thinks that fourth grade boys need tampons. They don't. But these are all real people, and we are describing real events. Everything we just laid out for you actually happened. They say God works in mysterious ways. 5 years ago, during the summer of 2020, after George Floyd was killed, the media called this whole thing the summer of love. But like we've seen so often with the media in this country, the truth was the exact opposite. It was a summer of hate, rioting, looting, burning in hundreds of cities and towns across this country. Billions of dollars in damage was done. 40 people were killed. 40 people were killed during riots to honor a drug-addicted criminal named George Floyd. To the left, George Floyd is the real martyr. And to the left, he is also a hero. The point we're making tonight is simple. The right and the left in this country are not the same. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated 12 days ago, prayers and vigils were held all across America. Millions of dollars were raised for his family. Cardinal Dolan compared him to St. Paul. And yesterday at his funeral, the President of the United States delivered his eulogy, and the differences are clear. When Jimmy Kimmel was suspended last week, several people rallied for Jimmy outside ABC News. Here was that scene.
The Trump fascist regime must go now. That's right. Keyword is now. That's right.
That's quite a legacy that Jimmy left behind, isn't it? And when Stephen Colbert found out that his show had been canceled, several people again rallied for Stephen outside CBS. Here was that scene.
Colbert stays, Trump must go. Colbert stays, Trump must go. Colbert stays, Trump must go. Colbert stays, Trump must go.
Wow, what a legacy that Stephen has left behind. My goodness, did you see all those people? There must have been a dozen. Yesterday, a public funeral was held for Charlie Kirk. Admission granted to anyone on a first-come, first-served basis. They expected thousands. What they got were hundreds of thousands of people camped out at 1 in the morning. People showed up, people who love this country and still think our best days lie ahead. And hundreds of millions of people watched around the world. Here's that scene. Remarkable. We saw gospel messages from the Secretary of State, gospel messages from the Secretary of War, gospel messages from the Vice President of the United States. And when Erica Kirk finally spoke, she spoke with something that's become her trademark, a brave, understated elegance. And she pointed out what the rest of the media has ignored for the last 2 weeks: no riots, no fires, no looting.
After Charlie's assassination, we didn't see violence. We didn't see rioting. We didn't see revolution. Instead, we saw what my husband always prayed he would see in this country. We saw revival.
The left and the right are not the same in this country, not anymore, if they ever were, and I don't think they ever were. And that was on display once again yesterday. What you saw yesterday was not what the killer thought was going to happen. Not at all. Not even close. Tyler Robinson, the man who assassinated Charlie Kirk, accomplished nothing 12 days ago. He and the devil overplayed their hand. Instead, millions of people witnessed Christ yesterday, and millions were exposed to the gospel, and millions, including myself, have been touched and inspired to change, inspired to live a better life. In one of the more touching moments yesterday, we heard this.
Charlie's assassin thought that he could steal and silence his voice by putting a bullet in his neck. In the words of Soren Kierkegaard, the tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule has just begun.
That's what the assassin accomplished 12 days ago. And not only has his rule just begun, one coward named Tyler has now created a million Charlies.